Page 4. It is of great importance for a person and those around him to protect themselves from all kinds of dangers that may threaten their lives. He should be fully prepared to counter these dangers with possible means at hand instead of causing disorder and chaos. Being calm and acting wisely is vital for the safety of a person and those around him. This safety guide is an attempt to provide the reader with the most valuable tips of avoiding danger and keeping safe. This guide has been prepared by experts and is well devised to explain in an easy way the measures to be taken in shelters and homes to face the prospective danger and also the necessary preparations to be made. We hope that such dangers and disaster don't occur, especially the ones involving weapons of mass destruction. But if it does take place, then our main aim is to protect our people and all those living in this peaceful country. The government has carefully laid down plans to safeguard all those living in this country, and necessary means and materials have been provided. I praise the work of the Civil Defense Authorities and the High Emergency Committee and thank all the other official groups for having extended their support in assuring safety and peace in this country. I would also like to thank all those who have put in efforts in preparing this guide and for the valuable advice and instructions it contains. May God preserve Kuwait, the Emir, the Kuwaiti people and all those who love this country. General Civil Defense Department. The Guide. Page 5. Sirens. Sirens are the best means used by countries in times of peace and war to warn citizens and expats of a danger or the end of danger. These sirens are produced to make 3 different kinds of sounds, each of which are for a special purpose. First, the discontinuous sound. This indicates a possible danger or disaster. Measures to be taken. Try to remain calm. All sources of gas and power should be cut off. All inflammable items should be put in a safe place. Avoid using elevators. Go to the ground floor or the basement. Take refuge in public shelters if possible. Tune to local media and follow the latest instructions from the Civil Defense. Second, the wavy sound. This indicates that danger or disaster has taken place. Measures to be taken. Cut off the lights both outside and inside the house. Then head to the shelter or down to the basement. Page 6. Stay far from entrances, doors and windows. Use torches when going from one place to another. Listen to local and official means for further information. Third, the continuous sound. This indicates the end of danger or disaster. Measures to be taken. Make sure about the whereabouts of your family members inside your house, in the basement or the public shelter. Do not crowd next to damaged places so as not to obstruct civil defense workers. Don't touch any unknown object on the ground even if the item is familiar, such as pens, cigarette lighters, toys, etc. Inform the authorities immediately. Don't spread rumors as they could cause chaos. Follow these instructions when in a car. Drive on to the nearest public shelter, basement, or safe place. Keep right to allow civil defense vehicles, ambulances, and emergency units do their jobs. Switch off the car headlights. When an explosion takes place, stop immediately and take shelter in the nearest safe place. When driving a vehicle with inflammable items, and an explosion is heard, drive to an open area far from residential areas. Follow these instructions when walking in a street. Confine yourself immediately to a public shelter or a safe place. When in the open and an explosion is heard, lie down with your arms around your face and ears. Page 7. Complete evacuation. All staff in ministries, institutions, factories and establishments alike should execute the following instructions, except those people assigned a task in the evacuation. In the case of danger, stop the work and safeguard the place using existing safety apparatus. Head straight to the shelters put up for this purpose according to the plan set in the factory or institution. In case of no means of transportation, rush to the nearest shelter according to the safety rules. Avoid the entrance gates or walking in the middle of the streets so as not to hinder the flow of traffic and emergency operations. In case of an airstrike, Lie down until the situation calms down. Then walk to the nearest safe place or shelter. Judge the situation by yourself if no instructions are given. Page 8. Gates and entrances of institutions, factories and similar buildings should be guarded. Traffic flow should be maintained, especially for vehicles and emergency staff. People assigned the task of evacuation should be supplied with security and safety equipments. When assigned a task and faced with danger, evacuate the place according to the way you were trained. Page 9. A safe shelter. 1. Temporary or emergency shelter. This shelter has been set up to offer security and protection, keeping in mind the current type of threat and danger. Preferably, it is done in adherence to the safety rules of the civil defense authorities. 2. The choice of shelter. It's advisable to put up a shelter in the basement, where there's maximum safety. If there's no basement, then it would rather be safe to be in a room on the ground floor. It's safe to set the shelter in the corner of the ground floor or basement. Choose the place for shelter with the maximum upright cement supports. A shelter with the minimum number of windows and doors. A shelter preferably with one exit and a toilet. 3. The shelter should be modified as follows. The ceiling. If the chosen shelter lacks upright cement supports, more of these supports should be provided. Page 10. Walls. They should be in good condition, with less openings. Floor. A room with a suitable floor. 4. Safety measures to be followed. Any glass, electrical wires or inflammable items that may endanger the lives of the people in the shelter should be removed. All dangerous items that may jeopardize the lives of the people in the shelter should not be stored. Instructions and measures to be followed by those in the shelter should be put up in such a place where it is noticed by everyone. Sufficient food and necessary medicines should be stored safely and regularly checked. The people responsible of the shelter should be listed and referred to when necessary. Suggested measures for emergency cases. Be calm and alert. Follow the emergency and safety rules carefully. Electricity and gas should be cut off. Electrical appliances should be put off. Main gates and doors should be closed. Make sure that all the family members are in the shelter. Close outside openings or windows. Keep in touch with local official instructions on TV or radio. Page 11. Keep the group as calm as possible. Recall the safety rules regularly and give instructions on how to act in an emergency situation. Keep the group informed regularly on the latest happenings. No evacuation is allowed unless the situation is completely safe, when announced by local authorities. Page 12. Shelter requirements. Food. It is advisable to store canned food taking into account the number of family members and the period of time. At least 2 days. Also store ready-made meals. Fruits, beans, vegetables, juices, long-life milk, etc. Fresh water. Sufficient amount of fresh water should be stored for 2 days at least, with 5 liters per person per day. Extra non-drinkable water should also be stored. Toilet. It should be at reach. It is advisable to keep plastic bags for garbage use and big plastic bins for garbage collection. Oxygen apparatus should be kept in addition to masks, with a minimum know-how and time to use them. A first aid bag should also be at hand. Medicine. Medicines for diabetes, blood pressure, asthma, in addition to a number of multi-purpose medicines, should be stored. Source of communication. A home phone and a mobile should be available, in case of the existence of a number of shelters nearby in the area. A radio and TV set. A satellite receiver should be available. in addition to enough batteries and a torch. Powder milk for children. Page 13. Tin can opener. Food storage box. Towels. Blankets and pillows. Pens. Paper. Adhesive. A box for important documents and personal IDs. Storage boxes. A refrigerator. An extra tent. Power generator. Extra clothes. Water heater. Tea and coffee bags. Sugar. Salt. Toiletry items such as shampoo. Soap. Toothpaste. Toothbrush. Fire extinguisher. Page 14. In case of fire. Instructions. Use the fire alarm to inform others of the fire. Do not hesitate to leave if the place is endangered. Avoid jumping off higher buildings or walls if trapped inside. Try to open doors and windows to allow more oxygen. Ask for help from those downstairs using the best means. Go straight to emergency exits using the staircase leading to the ground floor. Dial 777 for emergency or Civil Defense 180-4000 or any nearest civil defense authority. How to escape smoke. In case of intense smoke, move on your knees with your head in the upright position. Breathe from bottom with your head downward. Do not carry anything that may hinder your movement. Leave as soon as possible because oxygen will start diminishing and the place will start getting hotter and hotter. Give instructions to others to act in a similar way. When faced with real danger, evacuate the place in the way you were trained. Page 15. Emergency exits. If you're residing in a hotel or high building, keep in mind the following safety tips. 1. Be ready for any emergency. Make sure there are emergency exits in the place. Otherwise, get in touch with the hotel staff to assist you. 2. When in a hotel, spot the emergency exits and emergency alarms in the corridors and corners, and know how to use them. 3. If you smell fire smoke, contact the Civil Defense on 180-4000 or emergency authorities on 777. 4. Before leaving your room, touch the door to see if it's hot. If smoke starts coming through the fringes of the door, do not open it. But in case you don't sense any danger, leave quickly and head to the emergency exits. 5. Go straight for the emergency alarm and strike it. Get on your knees or bend down. And avoid inhaling smoke as much as possible. 6. Avoid the elevator and use the staircase for going down. Page 16. 7. Go downstairs to the ground floor and try to keep the situation as calm as possible, along with the others. 8. Meet your family members in a safe place, as agreed upon, and avoid going back to your room unless told by civil defense staff. 9. In case you're trapped, shut the door, but do not lock it. Try using pieces of cloth or wet towels to stop smoke from entering through the fringes of the door or window. 10. Try to inform of your presence where you're trapped by waving a white piece of cloth. Page 17. Using fire extinguishers. Fire usually breaks out in a restricted area before it spreads out and gains more space and ground. It is extremely important to be initially equipped with manual and handy means of extinguishing fire. These means should be provided in warehouses, factories, companies, and building complexes. Types of fire extinguishers. Water extinguisher. This type contains 2 gallons of water with a small cylinder filled with carbon dioxide. It is used to fight fires of woods, paper, tire, etc. Caution. This type of extinguisher should not be used in electric-related fires. Foam extinguisher. This type contains 2 gallons of water mixed with foam. It is used to fight fires caused by oil, petrol, and paint. Caution: this type of extinguisher should not be used in electric-related fires. Carbon dioxide. It is used to extinguish fires caused by oil, petrol, tinner, paint, electricity, and highly flammable items. Page 18. Highly flammable items. Caution: it should not be exposed to sunlight. Powder extinguisher. Right arrow. It contains 20 to 220 to 500 pounds of powder and is used to fight fire caused by chemical substances. Petrol. Highly inflammable items. Paint. From a distance of 12 feet. In a period of 20 to 25 seconds. BCF extinguisher. It contains 2 pounds of BCF bromochloride flormeton, compressed with nitrogen gas, and is used to fight all kinds of fires. From a distance of 6 to 8 feet. In a period of 10 seconds. It can also be used to fight fires in cars. Fire covering. Blanket can be used to fight fire in kitchens, or when a person's body catches fire. Just wrap the blanket around the person. Blankets should be at hand and used as quickly as possible, because it prevents oxygen from fire that quickly dies away. General instructions. Make sure that the type of fire extinguisher being used is suitable to fight that particular type of fire. Head to the place of the fire, along with the extinguisher. Pull the security tab of the extinguisher. Direct the hose to the fire. Press on the handle immediately. Make sure the place isn't a danger for you. And that. Page 19. You can escape if the fire spreads. Don't stand in the direction of the wind. Always dial Civil Defense Operations 180-4000, the Emergency Service 777, or the Civil Defense Center of the area. You should leave the place through the emergency exit. Never use the elevator, for the fear of being trapped. In case there is a power cut, go straight to the ground floor and keep calm. Meet your family members in a safe place, and do not come back to your room or flat unless told by civil defense authorities. In case you're trapped, close the door and use pieces of cloth or wet towels to prevent smoke from entering through the fringes of the door. Inform of your presence in the place by waving a white cloth. Page 20. Chemical attack. Preventive measures in case of a chemical attack. Prevention is better than cure. You should prepare yourself beforehand of ways and measures of preventing harm, or at least minimizing the loss. In case of a chemical attack. Ability to distinguish between the different sounds of disaster sirens. Keep yourself informed through local TV and radio of the latest instructions. You should also have an idea and be aware of chemical weapons and ways of prevention. Be trained, at least on first aid and principles. The choice of a safe shelter at home for you and your family is important. Choose a room with minimum openings, which can be firmly closed, to prevent gas from entering. Be equipped with an extra battery, a torch, blankets, towels, and food. Stick to strict cleanliness measures, such as washing hand with water and soap before eating any kind of food. Cover food with a cling film. Keep fresh water in glass bottles and tighten it firmly. Source of water such as tanks on rooftop should be firmly closed to prevent contamination. Page 21. Preventive measures during a chemical attack. Be calm and act wisely. When the siren is heard, or there's any indication of a chemical attack in your area, put off the air condition and hurry to the room you have set up for this purpose. If you're in an open area, try to cover your nose and mouth using a wet handkerchief if possible. Try to escape and avoid the place of the explosion, and in a direction opposite to the wind. When you reach home, do have a warm water shower, and keep the contaminated clothes in a plastic bag, and wait for instructions from the concerned authorities. If you are in a car, be sure to close the doors and all the openings firmly. Cut off air conditioning, and avoid driving in the direction of the explosion. Keep calm to avoid causing accidents, and keep driving on the right, to give way to civil defense and emergency vehicles. If you're at home, switch off the air condition, and close the ventilations. Take shelter in a room with minimum openings, which can be easily shut. If you're in a working place, make sure you are equipped with a protective uniform and a mask. Page 22. After you've closed the shelter or safe room, make sure that nobody leaves the place, unless it's an emergency. Keep in touch with local officials, TV or radio station, for the latest instructions. Do not get in contact with 777 or Civil Defense 180-4000 unless it is really necessary. Measures to be taken by school and university students on hearing the siren. If war breaks out, on hearing the siren, students and teachers should head straight to the shelters. In case of no shelters, students and teachers should go to amphitheaters, under the supervision of school or university staff. These amphitheaters should be prepared in advance as shelters. Medical units present and school officials should supervise and calm the students, especially the little ones. Teaching staff and civil defense authorities in the region should get in touch with the students' parents and inform them of the situation. This task may be carried out by local TV or radio stations. School administration should seize the right opportunity to take students home, especially younger ones. Page 23. Measures to be taken by people in public transport buses. When the siren is heard, the doors and windows of the bus should be closed. If possible, try to put a wet handkerchief on your mouth and nose. Bus drivers should act calmly and drive to the nearest public shelter. In case you're in a car, it is advisable to head home or to the nearest public shelter if necessary. Preventive measures to be taken in case of chemical gas attack. Make sure of the whereabouts of your family members. Avoid crowding around damaged sites out of mere curiosity. You may obstruct rescue workers from doing their job, or be subject to danger. Rumors are dangerous. Neither believe in them, nor spread them. If you're driving a car, give way to civil defense, emergency, and public service vehicles. Minimize the use of telephone, since this may hamper emergency services works. Page 24. Protective masks. The mask has been designed to protect the respiratory and digestive systems, eyes and face, from polluted air, and especially weapons of mass destruction, chemical, biological, and dust-containing radioactive material. The mask is used in all polluted sites, and it is advisable not to use one in closed areas with less fresh air. The components of a mask. There are many types of protective masks. The special masks are used by the military, and others by civilians, but both serve the same purpose. 1. The face-like shape of the mask is made of tire, with 2 in and out air valves, and is equipped with a layer as a voice carrier and lenses, in addition to straps to tighten the mask at the back of the head. 2. Filter. It is a 2-part box. The first to obstruct particles from getting in, biological particles and some types of liquids. and the other part is used to absorb gas and poisonous smoke, in a way filtering the air and making it safe for breathing. How to put on a mask. 1. Remove if there is anything on your head. Glasses if any. 2. Pull out the mask from the bag or box as quickly as possible. 3. Open the filter from both sides. Then fix it firmly on the air inlet. Some masks are initially equipped with filters. 4. Be sure the filter is opened. Page 25. 5. Stop breathing and close your eyes. 6. Fix the mask on your head through the chin first. Then pull the straps on both sides of the head. Some masks are worn through the upper part of the head. 7. Make sure the straps of the masks are tightly held back and tied firmly at the back end of the head. How to make sure the mask is well tied around the head. 1. Put your palm on the filter air inlet. 2. Breathe strongly. 3. If the mask retracts, then it has been put properly. 4. In case there is a leak, no retraction, try to tie the straps of the mask firmly again. 5. It is advisable to try out a mask before purchasing one. Page 26. First aid. First aid in respiratory difficulties. When oxygen is obstructed, breathing is halted, and which may lead to death if no immediate help is given. Open respiratory system. In all types of accidents and injuries, you should make sure the person is breathing by following these steps. 1. Chest up and down movement. 2. In and out air from both mouth and nose. 3. Position your cheek on the mouth and nose of the person and feel the air. Totally or partially obstructed air through the respiratory system is caused by an extraneous body in the upper part of the respiratory system. In this case, remove the extraneous body from the person's mouth using your finger. 1. Kneel by the side of the person. 2. Put one of your hands on his forehead and the other under his neck. 3. Raise the neck in the upright position with the head inclining downward. Unconsciousness. Let the unconscious person lie on one side in a stretched out position with the hand flat under his cheek. 1. Kneel down beside the person and bend his leg in your direction. 2. Stretch the other arm in a way that the flat hand is put on the heap. 3. Put your right hand under the person's neck, holding at the same time his hand. Hold him at the heap level. Page 27. And turn. Flip him on the other side with his stretched arm downward. 4. The other arm should be bent with the flat hand, palm, under the person's cheek. Make sure the head is put in the backward position to give way to air easily. Normal breathing while unconscious. 1. Discontinuous. Bend the head downwards to allow airflow easily. 2. If air fails to flow easily, start artificial breathing. Artificial breathing. 1. Bend the head downwards to allow air to flow easily. 2. Put the thumb and first finger around the nose to stop airflow. 3. Give mouth-to-mouth artificial breathing with full force. 4. Look at the chest of the person and see if there's movement, indicating flow of air. 5. The mouth-to-mouth artificial breathing should be repeated every 5 seconds at a pace of 15 to 21 times a minute till normal breathing or arrival of medical emergency units. 6. If the person is an infant or baby, go through the same procedure at a pace of 15 to 20 times a minute. Fractures. If a person is fractured, handle the broken part carefully before transporting him. Page 28. The symptoms of a fracture are: 1. The skin around the fracture turns greenish. 2. Excruciating pain. When you attempt to move the broken part. Emergency measures in case of fracture. 1. The broken part should be kept as still as possible. 2. Bandage the broken part with any available material. 3. Transport the patient to the nearest health center. Fire bruises. Fire bruises cause pain and are a real danger. Avoid using any kind of lotion or cream on bruises caused by fire. Emergency during fire bruises. 1. Call for emergency help immediately. 2. Transport the patient to a safe place. 3. Don't conduct any medical treatment or try to remove the clothes around the bruised area. 4. Cold water can be used to relieve pain in minor fire bruises. Bruises caused by an electrical shock. In case of an electric shock, disconnect the power and use a dry piece of wood to avoid electrical shock. Chemical-related bruises. Bruises caused by a chemical substance should be treated using the following procedure. 1. Avoid touching the chemical substance. 2. Remove the polluted clothes. 3. Avoid lotions or creams on bruised parts of the body. 4. Cover the bruised part and transport the patient to the nearest health center. Alright, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, leave a like and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.